this being the last panel discussion of the day. I think we've already had some very great takeaways during the day with the various presentations on Ladakh, on Meghalaya, on Uttarakhand tourism, and of course Ramashish as well, his Starscapes, and how that can actually be another area that can get a new form of tourism and has to be developed. In this discussion, we're going to be looking at the more technologically enabled side of adventure tourism. And, while on one hand you have the trekking and hiking and that sort of thing, these days there are a lot of tourists who are looking for a lot more. They want the adventure, they want the rawness of nature, but at the same time they also want some amount of luxury. And that's where I think the concept of glamping has come about. It's no longer just a regular tent, it's a tent with all the facilities in it. But what does that do to the ecology? What does that do for the local communities? All of that is what we will look at in this. I'd like to start with Mr. Sanjay Sharma. You're the CEO and founder of All Key Solutions Services and Organic Hideaways. What are your thoughts on the technologically enabled side of adventure tourism?
Thank you, Jay. It's really wonderful to come here and share the stage with you people. I have been in the industry. I have been in the industry for more than 3 decades. I created various tourism destinations around India and abroad as well. But the core what we understood post-COVID was the future remains with the sustainability, with eco-consciousness, and the third, it goes with the storytelling. Taking all into the consideration, we thought of, because we created glamping in other places as well. So in India, we pioneered in 2020-21. And the thought process was only about creating a program where we can give the nature as it is, without disturbing the environment, with minimum impact of carbon imprints, having all the local people surrounding us. We trained them for 6 months. We created this project in the name of Eco Glamp in Kanatal, and hiring all the people locally, nobody from IHM or a travel institutes. So we trained them for 6 months, and today, from last 2.5 years, every guest who is coming to us is thrilled to have the experience. The local things are available, local vegetations which we use, local communities involved, local vendors are involved. We took them for a small tracks. We design a program where they can have some stories to tell to the people whom they will be meeting post coming from EcoGlam. So idea was very simple, but creating in this middle Himalaya ranges, it's not that easy. We have to use the local resources. We cannot bring the heavy material on the top. No mechanism has been used. But we integrated with the IT technology, with the AI functioning into the subject, where people should be accustomed to, because they know, because the target which we are catering is of people who are traveling and moving to the 5-star properties. So our tariff also ranges on the same rate. So we have to deliver everything according to the 5-star standards. That was also in the mind in giving the delivery. So this is all the concept about, because now everybody is liking it. And on the social media as well, our presence is very strong. The day we entered into Kanatal, hardly anybody knew about Kanatal in India, nobody knew in abroad. But we have been highlighted in more than 200 publications. Our social media reach is like we have crossed 3 million people in last 2.5 years. Average 10,000 people watch our Instagrams and Facebook daily. Our queries are big. And the result is that in Kanatal only, there are 4 more glamping destinations have come up. And with the growth which it's going up, I think India is the most promising in the worldwide. It is rising by 40% of growth as compared to 13% worldwide. So this glamping is really taking over the adventure because, and wherever the adventure is there, you can create the glamping destinations.
Thanks. Prabhat, the passage to India, you have a lot of foreign clients, and I mean, that's your USP, right? You get foreign clients to come into India and enjoy the various adventure sports and tourism that we can offer here. How have you seen this grow in the last few years, and what role do you see technology helping you in disseminating the information about adventure tourism in India?
Very good question. Thank you. So yes, if I wear my inbound hat, that means if I talk about the inbound travelers that come to India from all over the world, I think there are a lot of areas of concern, and at the same time, we can also use technology as solution to those problems. Just to give you a couple of examples, that in many places in the country, we have not been able to distinguish whether we want to go the quality way or the quantity way. We have seen some unspoiled destinations earlier now falling victim to mass tourism. Ladakh is a very good example. Goa is another example. Many places in Uttaranchal are actually going the same way. So I think to take example, or when we look at the other countries like Peru and Argentina, which Archana spoke about as role models, we should actually now talk about keeping a tab or putting a tab on number of people we need in every destination, which is only possible through, technology. We can actually create or devise apps or some programs wherein people have to book in advance before coming to any trail, whether it is for hiking or for trekking. Some of the most popular destinations in the world, like Inca Trail in Peru, even they have a cap on 50 people every day. There was a time that, it used to get overcrowded, so government said, no, before it is too late, we should actually, let people book in advance. So people book online, they wait for 6 months for their turn. Only then they are able to do the Inca Trail. Same thing is happening in New Zealand with the Milford Sound Trek. Same thing is happening with Bhutan. They have a number of travelers they need. There's a sustainable development fee you have to pay as an Indian, which is 1,200 rupees or $100 a day as a foreigner. So all the countries in the world are looking at quality of tourists, not quantity. But I think we seem to be going the other way. In many places I've seen, which used to be such pristine and beautiful, nobody wants to go there now. The offbeat traveler doesn't want to go there because these are overcrowded. There's a mass tourism, and so many places in Uttaranchal itself. Unfortunately, we are sitting in Uttaranchal today, and we are, talking about these places which used to be so nice, like Valley of Flowers, or even recently, last week, there was a video that was circulated on social media about Deoria Tal, which is, such a beautiful lake with Chopta as a base to go there on a day hike. I remember I used to go there literally every 2 or 3 years, having been there at half a dozen times. Last week when I saw the video, I think I would never like to go there again. There were 100 people singing Punjabi songs, and the voice was echoing. The locals came, they put their foot down, they requested them not to do this in a holy place like that, but they became only louder. So unless the government is not serious about what kind of people they want on their trails and how to discourage these activities, we are just beating around the bush. So I think when we talk about innovation, we need to first of all control the numbers and devise programs and softwares where we actually make people wait. And this is the only way to create the value for the destination, because now anybody thinks of any destination and next thing you know is they're driving up there. And as a result, hundreds are landing there and the place doesn't have the capacity. So I think we should definitely look at taking tips from the other destinations which are doing better than us. And since we have more, our product is, I think, more varied and more diverse than many, many other countries in the world. But still, when we talk about the inbound numbers, many tour operators I used to work with earlier, they used to send a lot of groups, to India for tiger sighting. They don't want to come anymore because they say, Prabhat, the kind of ruckus the Indian travelers are making inside, our tourists that we send often come back with the complaints. So that is the message we are sending. Why can't we keep a tab on safari numbers? Why can't we keep a tab on how many people want to hike every day? So I think till these problems are not sorted, and if we cannot use technology to help us, then I think we need to learn a lot. Yeah, so there's a big lacuna there. Thank you.
Right. Now we'll circle back to this. I just want to get Ramashish's view on this. And he is fighting for dark spaces because now, one big downside to infrastructure growth and urbanization is that we have so much more. India now says we have 100% electricity coverage. So yes, there's more light everywhere. And for stargazing, you need dark spaces and you need clean skies. I have been to Hanle, and even in Hanle, it is now difficult to actually sit and spot the sky because all the campsites that have come up, some of them have laser lighting and all of this, which should not happen in a place like Hanle. So how do you kind of regulate something like this?
Okay, so since that's a specific question, not technology, let me share some stats. The astrophile or the astrotourism community may look very small, but my stats show that it can be almost 10 to 15% of all tourists. I'm not talking about the mass religious tourists, and globally there is a light pollution meter, which is again technology, which is used by most astrophile as a community before they actually would come to a site. So when we were doing Nakshatra Sabha, there was a very different target group which came to Mussoorie. I was conscious that it will be so, but very different when it came to Benital or somewhere far away, because these guys actually will ask questions like, what bottle sky is it? So that's kind of a scale which we use, right? And if it is not below, if Delhi is 9, and if it's not below 4 or 3, they won't come. Now, fact of the matter is, 80% of the earth is light polluted. I won't say it's all 9 like Delhi, but anything beyond 4 is considered light polluted, where you can't see a minimum number of stars. Okay. Now, what do you do about it? And why I do believe there are actually solutions available globally. And I'll share something which we are trying here as a pilot. Interesting thing is, US, very developed nation, New Zealand, parts of Europe, all developed. They have enough lights, but they have designated dark sky reserves as well as dark sky towns. So people living with 7, 10,000, 15,000 population, which have been designated dark sky, which means you can see the Milky Way from there in the night. Now, how did they do it? There are, of course, meters in terms of the downlighting, which you use. Architectural rules set. It's not I have to invent it. It is there globally. You are just talking about downlighters. Second, lumens. You don't really need a blasting 200-watt LED bulb. Sometimes you would have seen them, they are looking up at the sky. Actually, you need the light below. And you don't need that much. But when LED revolution happened, we all thought we'll save energy. But actually, India's consumption of energy went up. So I see it, so that, and then nowadays there is sensor-based lighting. You use lighting when you need it. So the best thing about this is it's a win-win. India is energy starved. I don't think we are saying we need more of it, right? Yes, we need lighting. On the other hand, there is technology available today that best of hotels and everything, they can, lower their electricity bill. So what we are trying to do in Uttarakhand is a pilot with ghost villages, where we can involve those community, train them as astro guides, they earn from this, and they then employ these practices and therefore protect it. But whether it can become a regulation, that would be my dream, but let's see if that's possible. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Okay, the other part, of promoting adventure tourism in India is that around the world, there are a lot of adventure tourism companies, whether it's parasailing, paragliding in the Swiss Alps or wherever. Somehow, I've traveled there and I've been more confident in engaging with an operator there and going parasailing than I have in Birbiling or anywhere here, right? Because we read in the news about certain accidents, you do not know the age of the harnesses and the clasps that are used, and there is no regulation. So what do you think can be done to ensure that we have 100% safety, and which can probably reassure travelers coming in for adventure tourism? I'd like to start with you, Sanjay, and then take Prabhat's thoughts.
I think first of all, we should understand what is the capacity of the every equipment is being used in adventure, especially for bungee jumping or rafting, what training, the zip lining, everywhere, what training people have got, the instructors, who are the instructor, who has been trained, where they have been trained, whether they are certified or not. And there has to be a regular check of process to be done by the department. But now I think department is yet to establish, okay, who will go do and do the checking, because if you're saying something to the local person, he might get offended. It's day-to-day business. So it's a two-way process. Like we have to curtail the number of people also who are coming, and we should understand, like there are right round about I think 900 rafts in Rishikesh area, and that they say that they get about 25,000 people a day. How it's possible? It's not possible technically, because one raft will take at least 3 hours to go and come back. So it's something, it is, if 1,000 are there officially, there must be more than that. It will be double the size. Then the problem occurs when any accident happens, there is no system placed. Something we discussed earlier with the ACO, that time the Colonel Pundir was there. We discussed with them that we should have at least the speed boats which can enter into the Ganga and go the backwards also. Because there is some issue with the Namami Gange policies that they cannot run a motorboat into that. But for an ambulance part or for a safety, you have to use the gadgets. So if you are looking to the bungee jumping, there again, there are thousands of people entering daily into those parks. There is no check. So who will do the check? That's the issue. So we have to keep an advisory board who should do the regular checks in all those tourist places. Like in Kanatal, there are so many of adventure parks who are making their Verma bridges on the bamboo staircases. So nobody knows what's the strength, what's the life of that bamboo bridge. If somebody falls, it's gone, because you are on the top of the valley. So this is still a question, but we are not the right people to address it.
Right. Prabhat, what is your take on how we should address safety?
Yeah, so I think we need to up our game. You know, when people talk about adventure, unfortunately, India doesn't even feature on the adventure world map. So even a tiny country like Nepal, you know, is the first thing that comes to people's mind. Though they have Mount Everest, we got plenty of other things. You know, we got Himalayas, we got Nilgiris, we got Western Ghats, we got, you know, Sayadris, we got Aravallis, we got everything that we need to use to promote tourism to India. But unfortunately, like he also said, we need some kind of a, you know, not only moral policing, but we need to ensure that every vendor, whether it is a single activity like bungee jumping or a river rafting or paragliding, every outfitter and every vendor there needs to be approved by the government or by the Adventure Tourism Association of India, which many travel companies like us are members of. When I travel to these places, I speak to these people and I tell them to become a member of the association. They say, why for? I mean, what is the need? Because, you know, they are getting business. Indians are the ones who would never check their accreditation. They would just go for the rate. And this leads to a lot of accidents. Every week we are coming across, you know, news about either some accident while bungee jumping or while river rafting or while paragliding. All this can be curtailed. All this can be nipped in the bud if there is regulation and if associations in association or in partnership with Government of India ensure that everyone who is running any business in these places is approved and certified person. Because associations are also conducting courses every now and then. Next week we have a course on I think rescue and first aid in the Himalayas. So many travel agents I know have already enrolled for that course. Similarly, if we ensure that every vendor is coming regularly for these courses, I think our professionalism level would go a notch higher, which is exactly what we need. And as I mentioned earlier also that, you know, foreigners when they come to India, they need to really see a very seasoned, a very professional setup in any activity that they undertake. So till we cannot take care of that, I think we cannot look at more numbers. You know, when other countries are doing 50 million, 60 million, 70 million tourists a year, since last 20 years, we have been struggling to, you know, reach the 10 million mark. I think why we lag behind is because of all these things which we take lightly, because as a country, as a, nation, as individuals, we all have that chalta hai attitude. We don't really go deep into checking the, credentials of any vendor we are using. So I think all these things would take a little time, but it's high time people got together, work in collaboration with each other, and I think we can definitely overcome these problems.
Right. Ramashish, I mean, we've heard about the safety part of it, but your thoughts on any new innovations that can be done to attract the kind of adventure tourists that we want in India?
Okay. I will, however, mention one thing on safety.
Yeah.
On astrotourism also, we recently had an incident where couple went outskirts of Chennai on a bike just to enjoy stargazing in the middle of nowhere, and they were assaulted. So there is a safety aspect, especially in astro, if you are, because there is a night element to it. There's wildlife element to it and all that. So one thing which I could think of is, most of us, if you take the Singapore hawker market as an example, if you have a rating system, which is done by a certification agency, like we all know, if you go to a Taj, we expect something, right? What is that? It's a 5-star. 5-star means XXX. If it's a Michelin star restaurant, it means YYY, right? So yes, you could be certified and all that, and we know Google ratings, sometimes people play around. But it's very much possible if governments start looking at, as a regulatory body, to rate transparently, yearly, almost like a fitness certificate for cars. If we could do that, any state could start it, maybe Uttarakhand can start it. And in that case, they will all become association members on their own because they need to learn those things. Yeah, so that's something I could think of.
Yeah, that's an interesting. But who's going to bell the cat, Sanjay?
For innovations, definitely. In our glamping, there's a huge scope of, because we are creating a couple of more destinations now, and we are using the completely AI technology in every domain of the departments, all the departments, where guests can enroll themselves and enjoy the nature, the facilities, the ambience, and they are all like, don't have to be in person everywhere, because now what happens normally, we have different type of guests coming to our place, especially people coming from Punjab. They want only drinks, snacks, nothing else. They just want to sit and enjoy. They don't have anything else to understand. Like we have our own parameter, like 11:30 in the night, we'll switch off the lights, then you can see the stars. So we have to train them, to our guests. Okay, our kitchen is open till 10:30 last. Food is ready. You want to get it warm, oven is there, you can do it yourself. Enjoy the bonfire and inside the starscape you can see directly. Because I met Ramashish first time in Jadong, and he showed me that telescopes and everything. So I brought one telescope to my place, and I thought that will be a very creative thing to do. But I think the second day it got broke down. So from till that day onwards, it is a showpiece. People are using it as a selfie point. People are taking pictures and putting it on the. So, like, everybody want to tell some story. Like, they're the people that the Indian travelers especially. It's very difficult to train them. We have to basically train them. We have to give them the guide. What things are allowed, what things are not allowed. If you are going to the nature track, you don't have to throw anything away. So we send our people together. Like, go with them, bring the trash back. You have to keep the place environment safe, clear. So innovations in technology, we can do it for the services. But for the nature, it's very difficult. But again, if we'll remain like that, so definitely people will also change.
Right. No, very interesting point you made about selfie leke Instagram pe dalna hai. And so
That's the main
that is, I think, something that can also be used in a positive way
Yeah,
to spread the message of responsible tourism, right?
it happens in responsible tourism. Like I have many guests coming to our place because this is a lifetime experience to come and enjoy the glamping, especially from the corporate world of Noida and Gurgaon. They take the EMIs, pay by credit card, but they want to be there for at least one night. We tell them that experience is not for one night. You have to stay for 2 nights or 3 nights. You have to feel the entire glamping experience.
Slow, sustainable.
The
that's what-
cloud, the sustainability, go for your nature walk, go for a forest bathing. So they say, what is forest bathing? You have to spend time in the forest. So what will you do? We will do there. There's no Wi-Fi, no networking. So I took them couple of times, and this is how we have to be sit here quietly, take the energy from the trees. But there are some people that taking the energy from the selfie and phone. So this is the life now.
Right. Prabhat, we were talking about new innovations and technology, and social media is one such tool which can be used in a positive way to promote positive adventure tourism. Your thoughts on how we can utilize it?
So the answer is yes and no. Social media, yes, can be used to our advantage. We have seen that many accommodations, whether it is glamping or a new lodge or a new hotel or a homestay, they have been active on social media, and as a result, they have been able to get the return on investment. But at the same time, many irresponsible Instagram, aggregators have actually been responsible for killing a destination, because these destinations used to be offbeat, and when they expose it, you have large numbers landing there week after week. So social media, we can use it to our advantage, but it can also backfire. So like every coin has two sides. I think Instagram is also one thing where we should actually not believe everything we see, but at the same time we should use it only to our advantage. So yes, I don't know how to handle it, but yeah, it's a tricky question. But as I said, every coin has two sides.
Okay. Ramashish, your thoughts on how you can use social media for encouraging responsible adventure tourism?
So we do a fair bit of it. By the way, before that, Sanjay, I think the fact that the telescope is broken and it's not being used shows that I run a managed service. So that's why my business survives. Anyone can buy a hardware. So positive to that. Okay, so one of the things, I was just speaking to somebody here, the way we use it is to show how the sky looks when there is no lights, same place, and how it looks with a lot of lights. There is a famous viral shot of someone in Ontario, actually, I think, where lights went off for some time, and he was an astrophile. So there was a shutdown, and he went out, and he shot his city that night. And then the next night when the lights were up. So we keep doing these kind of things, which powerfully bring out what happens to you, whether it's in Delhi or Sariska. Actually, in Delhi also, at times we are able to do that. Also, we use technology in one way, which you said, selfie. Increasingly, technology allows me to take shots of you with the backdrop very easily, with smartphones attached to telescopes, and people want it. They want that shot of the moon, or they want that shot of Jupiter along with themselves. So we use technology in that way, and hopefully next time, like the glaciers disappearing, he doesn't see that, and so, oh, this time I didn't get it because of light pollution.
Okay.
I'll just add to this, like for awareness, we normally keep telling people, coming to the glamping is a journey of your soul. And it's all about how you can rejuvenate yourself. And people have felt the difference. And on our staircase, we have kept a monitor on a tree, and we have written, no technology, no Wi-Fi available. But we have Wi-Fi, but we tell people, just shut down your phones and come and enjoy, have your soulful journeys, have some stories, create your own stories, spend the night with yourself. That's the best thing you can do.
Right. The technology has two sides to it. I mean, when I first went to Ladakh in 2008, 2009, there was no cell phone network, and for 12 days I was without my phone, and that was the best experience I could ever have. You didn't have to look, the phone became a camera, nothing else, right? But now, even in Ladakh, the last time I went was last year, and almost every place, including Hanle, has a cell phone network now. So that is the downside to technology. I think we're almost out of time. If there is any question in the audience, we'll take one question and then we'll wind up. Do we have any questions? Right. Okay. So I think we're out of time, and I think this has been a wonderful session.
Thank you.
And hopefully we've had some very good takeaways from the day here on responsible adventure tourism. Thank you so much.
Thank
I'd
you.
like to thank my panelists. So thank you.
you.